Today's conference will focus on the question of which skills a physician should have in order to be prepared for the increasing digitalization of medicine. Preparation for this must start in medical training.
Surveys report that patients' openness for digital technologies is high, and an increasing number of physicians are also becoming more open. I'm pleased that, together with the European Association, the Standing Committee of European Doctors, the German Medical Association, the Bundesärztekammer, is addressing this topic so intensely.
So skills, it is an important component of this, of the set of initiatives that the Commission is contributing to the digital transformation. And as you were saying before, not only for the inclusion part, so the digital inclusions for every citizens, but also for for specific sector curricula.
Medicine has always been a field where technology innovation was translated into new diagnostic and treatment options. And this is always very much tied with the qualification, the creation of new jobs, new professions, and new curricula.
We still see actually a huge gap in our current education. From on the one side, the willingness of students to become part of the digitalization of healthcare and to learn about e-health, and on the other hand, we have the lack of education and practical training. For best practice, I would like to emphasize the students' engagement, the bottom-up approach.
We really want students to be involved, and we also have the courses where students are actually organizing, for example, the innovation course, where they look the new healthcare innovations together with the companies and actually build up the models with them.
What we try to do, we not only try to bring new knowledge to the students, but really to do hands-on experience, and we put them into simulation areas where they can use those technologies in a new field. And it's a lot about critical reflection, about ethics, about thinking what the patient really needs, about really becoming a change maker. So a big part of the curriculum is also critical reflection and discussion among various groups. So we involve not only different medical professions and healthcare professionals. No, at the very core we include patients as teachers. We include data protectionists. We include apps and startups as part of the curriculum.
Health systems can be complicated. They're business systems to use. They're not, they're not swipeable systems. They're not based, around social media characteristics. So I think some doctors certainly feel that they need to even get to a basic level before they have the confidence to improve their skills on specific systems or procedures in relation to their jobs. Organizations, they maybe look at a big bang approach and they say, we have 10,000 doctors and we're going to, implement a massive scheme and we're going to upskill them all, or we're going to upskill everybody in our hospital. Where, when you're talking about digital skills initiatives, really a kind of incremental approach is much better. You take your quick wins at the beginning, you deal with small groups, that builds a momentum of its own, it develops motivation amongst colleagues and then the broader workforce. You get some good news stories out, so you take it bit by bit.
We do not need a doctor who is able to program or to code an algorithm or to be able to oversee all the laws that are there for digital health in health, but we need doctors that are able to assess the basics of digital technologies on the one hand, who are able to oversee data science and understand the mechanisms of algorithms, and on the other side have also the competency to, the communication competencies to talk and to be empathetic with the patient and see the needs of the patient. And I think this will expand when we have the digital transformation of healthcare, and especially we need doctors that know who to ask for help, so that are able to communicate and work in a multidisciplinary team with data scientists, with engineers and nurses.
These words say that the more we learn. This is a process that is transformative by nature. So the only way that you can develop something and make sure that that technological solution it is taken up within a certain boundaries is because you have developed it together or wanted to use it. And the examples of this interaction is, for instance, on this group that the Commission set up. It's called the e-health stakeholder group, listening to voice and coming up with joined up approaches, even within member states, because it is this concept of interacting.
As applicators of these technologies in the interest of patients, we need to understand the possibilities, but also the limitations. And this is where much of the curricular efforts, I think, should be focused on. And so the first thing that needs to be done is to find a way to get these technologies in a legally manageable and a safe way to be part of patient care. And so this is where the government is actually sort of important, because they do provide the regulatory basis.
We call it augmented intelligence, because there is nothing really artificial about this type of intelligence. Do you have a position on that?
I fully agree. I think it's the word augmented is very appropriate, because what artificial intelligence does is actually augment, increase the capacity of humans. It does not replace the humans. And so I think it's really important also for doctors, for the medical profession, to learn how to interact with artificial intelligence. For example, not to believe that AI makes the decision. AI is just a tool. The decisions remain with the humans. And I think this borderline is really important. For me, the present situation, the COVID crisis, is a very good example that the medical profession is actually extremely resilient. Because when you see the severity of the crisis, the huge problems that the medical profession is facing, I think we can say that the doctors and all the health sector has really shown its capacity to rise up to the challenge. So for me, the COVID crisis is much worse as a challenge than the disruption caused by AI. So I'm very confident that the health profession in particular will have all the tools necessary to be very performing in the future.
The digital transformation and patients' increasing autonomy is leading to more of them actively searching for health information online. 3 things need to be remembered. First, data belong to the patients. They alone may determine how these are to be used. Second, the use of digital services must be voluntary. Patients must be given transparent and comprehensive information regarding the opportunities and potential risks of digital services. Only then can they make a self-determined decision for or against their use. In this connection, one point is critical for me. If people decide against such use, for whatever reason, then this must not place them at a disadvantage. Since many older people did not grow up with digital media, there are some that never mastered them. And thirdly, the use of this data must encompass the best possible legal and technical protection against misuse. I am aware that there is no such thing as absolute security. Data protection violations must be prosecuted and punished vigorously.
In the right hands, these data can save lives, but in the wrong hands, they can devastate them. Every disruptive innovation in healthcare brings with it the risk of undermining the mutual trust and respect between physicians and their patients. And this is something every every physician has to keep in mind. Trust is a key message. Trust is a key message to hold on the close relationship between patients and physicians in future with digital medicine.
On behalf of the German Medical Association and the Standing Committee of European Doctors, I would like to thank all speakers of today for taking the time to share their expertise to us. I would expressively like to thank the German Medical Association and their president Klaus Reinhardt again for giving us the room to have this hybrid studio here in the Bundesärztekammer in Berlin.